Hello, people. It's your boy Usmaan back again with another Manchester United podcast. As always, if you are joining us, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the bloody channel, and obviously show love to our guests. You know, their social will be down below. We do know Chelsea are playing, so we'll keep you up to date with the score. I'm sure most of you probably know it. Anyways, but listen, let's introduce the panel. Today's title is Harry Kane on his way to Man United? But most importantly, talking about the game on Sunday, obviously just kind of, talking about the Kane situation in general. First and foremost, on my left, you'll recognize him from the Monday Rival Farm podcast, our very own Tottenham representation. Kish is in the building. What are you saying, bro?
Yes. What's everyone saying? You all good?
Yeah. Everyone's good. Below me, we got the homie from United Team Talk in the building. We got Jerry. What are you saying, bro?
Yeah, all sweet. Sitting second, it's nice to be up there, man.
Yeah, Jerry's not happy with me because I keep giving him a bit.
No, I'm calm. I'm ready, man.
I'm messing. And listen, last but not least, from Trafford Tunnel, aka Never a Foul, the homie DJ All Biz in the building. Oh,
what's going on?
What are you
saying? What's good? What's good, my
boy?
Man.
You love to see it. I can't wait to be
good win at, well, it wasn't a good win at the week in the week, but
you love to see it.
Done the job.
Lightwork is, we can't all struggle at Arsenal.
We move to tomorrow, man.
Big game tomorrow, very big game. Obviously, now that Chelsea are winning, of course, Liverpool did win early on. Trent Alexander-Arnold finally redeeming himself, for that absolute mare on the week. But listen, let's talk about Manchester United, of course. We're going to start with the Harry Kane news first and foremost because it is a big bit of information. I suppose it is relevant to us because a lot of Man United fans do want Kane at Manchester United. Kish, we're going to come to you first and foremost. Obviously, being a Spurs fan, I know your thoughts, really, to be honest, regarding the matter. Well, probably know your thoughts. But in terms of Kane, first and foremost, can you see him leaving come the end of the season? He said if you don't get top four, do you think in contention?
So he's leaving. There's no top four for Tottenham. Simple as that. It's not happening. Not good enough, unfortunately. It pains me to say it, but it's true. Even though on paper, if you look at the table, we're only 2 points off top four or 3 points. It's not many points at all, but we just don't have the consistency, in my opinion. And I also think the fixtures aren't on our side. To be fair, I think the game in the weekend against Newcastle was massive for us because that would have then put us fourth, even though it would have been only for 24 hours, but it would have put more pressure on the other sides behind us. We didn't really, do that. And to be fair, we're lucky to get a point. With regards to Kane, listen, and I think most Spurs fans have realised that, listen, he's done enough for the club to deserve to win trophies. I can't grasp the fact that, the teams he's played for, that we've not won a trophy. And I think the perfect end for him in a way would be to leave Tottenham at the end of the season and win the League Cup. Again, I'm not saying it'll happen because we've got Man City and it's a daunting task. But for me, I think that would be a perfect ending. I know it's the League Cup. It's not the FA Cup, Champions League or the Premier League. But it'd be nice for his, nice little ending for him. The fact that he had left Tottenham on a high and got us our first trophy in about 13 years. So for him, personally, I think that would be massive. But he's 28 in the summer. For him, this is his last
crazy.
This is his last opportunity. Yeah. And people say, he signed a 6-year contract. But you've got to understand, when he signed his 6-year contract, we were regularly getting top four. We were challenging for the league at that point in time. And the season he signed it, we got to a Champions League final. He was not to know that the decline was going to be the decline that we've had. And no Spurs fan probably thought that, if I'm honest. But it's been horrendous, and you can't blame a player of his talent to want ambition to at least play in the Champions League. I think it's embarrassing that someone of the talent and ability of Harry Kane has been playing in the Europa League this season. I'm sorry, I just don't agree that a player of his caliber, should be playing in the Europa League. And I know people say, Mbappe, Haaland are better than him, blah blah blah. And yeah, I personally think that, that it's based on opinion. For me personally, I think Kane does what Haaland does, which is score goals, but he also does everything bar being good in the net. He defends, he scores, he assists. If he doesn't, he never really has a bad game. He always provides something to the team. I'm not saying that he's better than them, but what I'm saying is at the moment, I do feel in general he offers more in regards to his games, in regards to his overall game than any of the other top strikers in world football do, in my personal opinion. And he should be playing for the very, very top. That's just my stance on it.
Yeah, no, I first and foremost, like coming to, the sort of the part regarding him not being in the Europa League, that's where a lot of people say, why would he go to Manchester United? Yeah, you said that he's 28 in summer, he needs to be winning trophies. Jerry, where do Man United fit in this, or do they not even fit in to come into the equation in your head?
I'm even thinking about the other clubs, like who can really afford him in this pandemic, Corona, whatever it is this summer, because it's been a mad season. Obviously, no fans in the stadium and whatnot. I know Chelsea spent a lot last summer, but obviously they couldn't spend the previous summer, and the season was like 2/3 done, so they probably got some revenue from their stadium, whatever sells. For us, I think we could do it if we're gonna blow our budget on one player. It might as well be Kane, innit? Like, obviously we need a CDM and right wing, but if Kane's available, we need a striker. Obviously, Martial. Yeah, that's a different topic. He ain't the striker that's gonna fire us to a league anytime soon. So if Kane's available, we got to explore that option, man. I mean, we've been renowned for buying the best players in the Premier League. So if Kane's in the market, United, they have to do everything to try and get him, man. Like, he's a typical United player. If Fergie was still in charge, he would have been at United years ago, I think.
100%. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that last part. I think he would have been at Man United about 2-3 seasons ago. I know, of course, Spurs fans will say that's just arrogance, but Sir Alex just had a way of getting these top quality players to the club. Of course, it has been more difficult in recent years. Of course, it has. But the question is, as Jerry kind of alluded to that to an extent of is, in terms of other positions, we need a right winger, we need a CDM. We can't afford all three. Let's be real. Let's not, let's be realistic as well. First question being, can you see Kane leaving? Second question being, is he a necessity in terms of, do we need to put that money elsewhere, or do you think we have to go Kane? Arby's, that's for you, bro. I don't know if you said me. They're disconnected.
I think he's a bit delayed still.
I don't know if he's disconnected or not. Right, okay, I'll take the question then. Right, okay, right, I don't know, I think he's disconnected. Right, first and foremost, regarding whether I think he's going to leave, like, for me personally, he has to leave. Like, at the end of this season, if he's not leaving, then, he doesn't show ambition for me. End of the day, he's 28. He's got injury problems. Who to say he might not break down at 31, 32? You've seen with Aguero as well of late. He's still young in terms of age, 32 in this day and age of football, but his injuries or his injury crisis has completely, taken over in that sense. So I think Kane has to see his opportunity to leave when he gets the chance now. In terms
if you remember though, when the last time you guys had a goal scorer, in my personal opinion, I know you've had, the Lukaku's and Ibrahimovic, Van Persie, but Fergie signed Van Persie knowing his injury record at Arsenal. He got injured almost.
No, I'm saying from Kane's perspective, his career might get cut short at the high level like Aguero.
Yeah.
Aguero's only 32, and realistically, you know what I'm saying? So he's not actually that old, isn't it? So obviously, like if you're looking at comparing to Aguero, who's had a lot of injuries over the years, and you compare it to Kane, who's getting quite a lot of injuries as well. He's consistently injured at the start of the season. He might be looking at it and thinking, I've only got a couple of years left at the top, potentially. Yeah. If he continues to, especially with his ankles.
It depends. It's also on motivation, though, isn't it? If you look at the likes of Messi and Ronaldo, who hardly ever get injured. Ibrahimovic at United had a really bad injury, didn't he, in his first season? But now he's back. It depends on the player's motivation. And I don't see Kane as that sort of player that would want to stop anytime soon. He said it in many interviews that he wants the same longevity as the likes of Ibrahimovic and Ronaldo. I think he said it in an interview a couple of months ago. So I don't really see him, I see him being at the top of his game for a pretty long time because he's not the sort of player that relies on pace. He's never really had pace. With him, it's all about his movement and how clever he is off the ball of, making defenders follow him and opening up space for others as well. So I don't really see that being too much of an issue in my opinion. But again, that's just based on what I've seen.
Someone's part would take Son over Kane.
No chance. No chance.
Kish. Remember when I used to say to you, Kane's more important than Son? Do you remember?
To be honest, though,
Yes, do you remember?
That's a no-brainer though. Like, why's that a thing anyway?
I think they're just as important as each other for Tottenham. In my opinion.
I told you, man. I knew it. Kane was the guy. But Son, to be fair to him, is an absolute baller. But he loves a purple patch. And when Son's on song, the guy's unplayable, and it really isn't it. But you know, he's one of those guys that goes at peaks and troughs in it. But when he's good at it. But in terms of Man United, I just don't think we're gonna have the money unless, you know, as I put in the WhatsApp group earlier, unless we sell a lot of players. You know, we're going to take a risk in it. We're going to sell De Gea's. Obviously, Pereira's got to go anyways. But Lingard, Mata, Bailly, we're going to have a proper clear out.
Pogba.
If we want to get Harry Kane and Sancho, or Harry Kane and Rice. We can't do it otherwise unless we sell like 5 to 6 players. But hopefully, apologies, I forgot to turn my alarm off. What the hell's happened here? Right, okay, so apologies for that. So I forgot to turn my alarm off. But these naps in a man's getting old and that. Biz, I don't know if you can hear us, bro. Hopefully you can hear us. Can you hear us? No, yes, no. Maybe can you hear us? I don't know if you can hear us. What's happening here?
Yo, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't
even know what's happened. His audio's messed. Right, that's so weird. I've never seen that before. Right, okay. Anyways, right, let's carry on then. Obviously, in terms of the money, obviously we've established that. Let's move on to other details. If you've got any questions, obviously put them in the chat. Let's just quickly get through some comments. Obviously, we've got that one. I would take son of a Kane. Haaland will stay for 3-5 years as Riola will move him on so similar to what Kane will have until he finishes. That's actually a good point, to be fair, because Riola is a rat. You know, it is what it is. I'm not a fan of the guy, but it probably is factual. Let's see what the comments have got. Haaland 20, Kane 28, simple transfer fee. Gotta be Haaland. I don't agree with that at all. That's just me. I just think Kane's a lot better. You know, we need some improvement. You know, we got some younger players coming through like the Mason Greenwoods. Obviously, it's not on Haaland's level, but I'd rather see, you know, Greenwood come and have the opportunity to grow, because I still do believe in his ability. But Biz, 4th time the charm, might be 3rd time actually. Can you hear us, bro?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes,
you can hear me, yeah?
Yeah, we can hear you. Toby's here as well, so
all good.
So sorry, bro.
Usmaan, so sorry.
It's all good.
I've been cooking in the kitchen and I just got sidetracked. You know, when you get in the zone and you're cooking, listening to music, you just get sidetracked, man. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. We're only talking about Harry Kane leaving Spurs, your favorite topic. Listen, Biz, what do you reckon then? Do you think Man United can afford him? And secondly, do you actually see him leaving?
Do you know what? Yeah, we can afford him. Do I see him leaving this summer? I'm not sure. I think if he picks up a trophy for Tottenham in the Carabao Cup, I genuinely think he might give it another year. And I think Jose will talk to him and say, listen, we've got big plans for the summer. Daniel Levy might back me again, and then we'll go again for next year. But I think, we can afford him. But the only thing is, with this summer, more than ever, I feel like so many teams are looking for a number 9, and there's only a couple that's out there that looks like they're available. So right now, I mean, I would love him to come to United, but like Jerry was saying earlier, man, are we going to blow all our budget on one player? Because obviously there's other areas that needs occupying, like the right wing, centre back, centre mid.
Man, you're talking one of the best strikers in the world. We're not talking about this guy's top 3 in the world, like with all due respect.
Top two.
Top 2 potentially, like Lewandowski, Kane.
Probably the best for me.
Are you better than Lewandowski? No,
I think he is. Not by loads. I think he is. Honestly, I don't mind.
Do you know what?
I don't really object to people ranking Lewandowski higher, because Lewandowski is an unbelievable striker. So they're both unbelievable strikers.
I don't know about that one. I find that hard to accept.
See, my answer to that is the fact that you put Kane in that Bayern Munich team.
Obviously, I feel like you have to take into consideration those clutch moments. You know what I mean? Getting your team over the line. Obviously, Kane had that incident with England, which people won't forget about. But Toby, just your thoughts regarding Harry Kane, right? Obviously, before we move on, and I want to ask you from Jose as well, because I know you're a massive fan of Jose. In case you don't know, he absolutely despises Jose. So in terms of the manager as well, right? So let's say Jose's the manager of your club, right? You know, Kane's looking at it objectively. Jose is known for winning trophies. If he does hypothetically win the League Cup, do you strongly believe that he, might give it another go as our business, or do you think it's time for Kane to go on to, greater pastures, so to speak?
It's time for him to go, man. Spurs fans won't begrudge it. It's time for him to bounce. A League Cup isn't enough. A League Cup is not enough. A League Cup, fair enough. He finally gets a trophy on his resume, but it's not enough for him to stay. He needs to be playing in the Premier European competition. He needs to be competing for the major honours, not the Carabao Cup. And I know that's coming from a Spurs fan who's not won anything in 13 years. But I'm looking at it from a player who is literally the best in his position. Like joint best, whatever you want to call it. He is the top of the food chain. He could walk into any team in world football apart from Bayern Munich. And he's fiddling in fucking Europa League. He's playing in Europa League. He's scraping, challenging for top 4. When he signed his contract 3 years ago, he signed it on the belief that Spurs were going places, because when he signed it, we had just finished our 3rd consecutive season in the top 3. We got knocked out, fair enough, in the round of 16 by Juventus, but there was progress. There was progress.
Yeah.
Obviously, club building a new stadium, etc., etc. And then since then, it's just got fair enough. We made top 4 next year and got Champions League final, but it's just been a gradual decline. A gradual decline. And for me personally, if I'm his advisor, I'm telling him to bounce. And you're seeing the reports. We saw the news that broke this morning. That's not really news for us Spurs fans. Like, we know Harry Kane is expected to tell Spurs that he would like to move this summer. He should. But the problem with Kane is the club are in a position of power where we don't have to sell him.
Yeah,
he has 3 years left on his deal. He's a consummate professional. He's not gonna down tools. He's just gonna express his desire to leave, and Daniel Levy's gonna tell him, okay, you know what, fair enough, but we set this price for you. If a club comes in for this price for you, you can leave. If not, then you're gonna have to stay. So Kane, for me, he's stuck between a rock and a hard place, and it really is dependent on whether those 2 or 3 clubs in world football who have the appetite and the funds to afford Kane do come in for him. If Man City decide to abandon their usual not above £70 million policy and only signing 20 players or 25 and under, if they abandon that policy and go for Harry Kane, he's going Man City. If Man United say, you know what, we know we need a defensive mid, we know we need this, we know we need that, but you know what, we have 150 million, we want to spend it all on Harry Kane, give him all the wages he wants. Champions League football looks to be set this season as well, and the brand of playing for Man United, he'll go there as well. So for me, it's a case of, do the clubs that can afford him want to go out and spend that money on him? Will Man City want to buy Kane, or will they go for Haaland? Will Man United want to buy Kane or use that money on 3 or 4 players that can improve their 11? Because of the finances involved with Harry Kane, there's a 50% chance he stays at Spurs, but because of the quality and his expected desire to leave, there's a 50% chance he could leave too. So, yeah, as a Spurs fan, me personally, I'm prepared for both possibilities.
Yeah, I personally think he's gonna get forced to stay. Like, that's my honest opinion on the situation. It kind of reminds me of what we did with De Gea. Like, obviously, that was a different situation with the facts machine, but it was quite evident that De Gea wanted to leave to Real Madrid, and we just forced him to stay basically for another year, and then. So we had that situation. And like you said, 3 years on his contract, all the powers in Spurs. And you know what Daniel Levy is like. He's the last person you want to do business with. That guy will not drop a penny. If it costs 150 million, he'll get 150 million.
Yeah.
For me personally, I think straight swap for Lingard is a fair deal, but it is what it is, and you guys can give us money on top. Lingard doing the thing and that. Kish, obviously, I know you're a massive fan of J Lings in it, and you already been practicing the dance moves and all. But
that's the only way. To be honest,
that,
in the current climate, that's the only way I see it.
With the managers, Kish, because I know you're a fan of Jose as well. Let's start with Jose Mourinho. Huge game for Jose Mourinho, could potentially still get top 4. What are your thoughts? How would you approach it?
To be honest, he's lost the players in the dressing room. His recent comments, is completely baffled the players, in my opinion.
Kish,
I think.
Carry on talking. I'm gonna have to leave and come back. My audio's messed.
Yeah,
carry on talking. I'll be back in that.
Yeah, I think he's lost the players in recent weeks. At first it was Hugo Lloris after getting knocked out in the Europa League. You could tell when he got interviewed afterwards. You could tell something's not right within the dressing room. And then I think it was last week when he's right. If you think about it, it is the same manager, but different players. It is. And if you see clips of some of the mistakes we make, you can't blame the manager for those mistakes. They're individual errors. But that's not the sort of thing that you can say in an interview where your players are definitely going to be watching that. That's not going to give your players any confidence whatsoever. In terms of the way we need to approach this game, I think we need to go back to the same squad that we used against United early in the season, and just hope that Kane and Son individually can come up with their miracles, which they can do. They've done it many, many times this season, and get at United on the counter. But to be honest, that is the only tactic that I think Mourinho has in his locker, because we will defend. I will not be surprised if we have 2 CDMs playing, because that is more than likely to happen. And it will just be reliant upon Kane and Son, which is what it's always been this season. And it's sad for me to say as a Spurs fan, being under Pochettino, while we play, fluent attacking football, but that's really how that game's going to end up for me tomorrow.
Yeah, look, I kind of don't want to even relive that previous game that we had against you. So, the less said, the better. But obviously, in terms of how you approached that game, you were really aggressive in that game. Obviously, I know you got the early goals, which helps, but your overall demeanor, you guys were there for the kill that game. I know at that point, Spurs, not you, but other Spurs fans thought you were in a title race, and it was a completely different team. And in terms of the sort of the morale of the team, the sort of environment, the general consensus surrounding the team was positive. Coming into this game is a massive difference. Jerry, what do you reckon? Where do you sit on the whole situation in terms of Spurs' threats going into this game? What worries you the most with this one?
Yeah, the obvious suspects, isn't it? Kane and Son. Apart from that, I'm not really worried about this game, to be honest.
Really?
I'm not. Like Jose, as much as people say he's a world class, I think he's done out here. Like his whole, like, what's happening to them now is what happened to United. It's just going downhill from now. With him talking about the players and saying coach different players, this is the beginning of the end. And I think if we're clinical, I think we can put them to the sword tomorrow. Because if what Chris said about if they play the same team they played in the reverse fixture with, I think it was very attacking. I think Bergwijn started, and Ndombele, Kane, Son. If we do what we do best, which is the counter attack, and I mean their stadium is a big pitch, so I think but is Jose going to go for like that?
How are we going to counter attack a team that's so pragmatic and so defensive? Like, do you actually think there's going to? Well, of course there'll be opportunity to counter attack, but
yeah.
Do you expect them to give us that space to counter attack? What do you reckon?
But they need to win this game. Like, for us, a draw is not a bad result. If they have any ambitions of getting top 4, they have to, they have to go for it. Like, and yeah, I think there will be gaps in behind. Like with United, as shit as we play, we always do create not many chances, but the chances do become aware. And if we're clinical, nick a few goals, I can see us, I can see us banging them. Can't lie. Like Tottenham, Davinson Sanchez, that defense. People cuss our defense. Their defense is just is peak, fam. Got rolled on.
Their defense
is me, fam. So dead.
They got man like Eric Dyer and Sanchez. Apparently Sanchez linked to Barca, but who was the other one? Madrid was a kid.
Yeah, Real and Barca.
Yeah,
what was this?
Smoking and, I don't know who's smoking and writing that article. But that's completely
must have been some Disney sources or something like that.
Listen, Biz, what do you reckon, man? Obviously, Jerry thinks that we can hit them on the counter. For me personally, I honestly think it's going to be some dead game, like 1-1, like fully 2 teams are just trying to outpark the bus. Obviously, we don't really park the bus, but we just don't do anything with the ball. And like, what are your thoughts going into this one?
Yeah, I can exactly what you're saying, bro. I see exactly happening. I mean, I'd love to see us go there and dominate and get a good result, especially after what they did to us. A nice little bit of revenge, but I just don't see it happening, man. Like the way Tottenham set up more or less similar to how we set up. Double pivot, CDMs, just try and work with their wing play, but nothing's really vibrant from the wings, really. There's no overlapping, no high press. I can just see it just being a boring game. There might be a score draw, but I can't see anyone really taking it. I mean, but if like Jerry was saying, I feel like Tottenham have to come out. They have to go for this game. But we don't really have to go through it. So it just, to me, all I can see is a draw.
Right, fair. Look, for me personally, I can see where you're coming from. Obviously, I've kind of said the same thing. Like, it'll be interesting to see their approach, though, Toby. Like, in terms of from Spurs going into this game, Kish was saying, well, the lads were saying, Spurs need to win the game because if you want any chance to get in top 4, do you see Jose actually trying to go for the win in terms of, the manner in which you approach the game, and also do you still believe that you can get top 4? Having seen how good Chelsea have been so far today.
We did. I'll answer the second one first because it's easier. No chance. No top 4. No top 4 for Spurs. I don't care how close we are under this manager and with some of the profile players we have playing in our backline. We have no chance of getting top 4. So I'm ruling that one out for Spurs. But you are right. Because of the gap between us and 4th or whatever it is, it's a tight race and legit, it's anyone's money right now who gets top 4. And for that reason or another, there is still something to play for from our perspective. But I don't really trust Jose Mourinho to get us over the line against Man United. Man United, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember saying this in the Big Six yesterday. I think you haven't lost the Premier League game in over 2 months. You haven't lost since Sheffield United, the home defeat. And in this 2021 alone, I've seen you go to Stamford Bridge, stink the joint out and get a clean sheet. I've seen you go to Emirates where it was a slightly better game, but again, still sort of boring 0-0. Yeah. I've seen you go to Etihad and excellent counter-attacking football, rear guard defending, and you won 2-0. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, you know what? This is a side that don't really lose. And with us playing the way we are playing right now, where it's not even a low block, it's just a whole bunch of nothing. We're not compact. We don't defend well. We don't attack well. Our attacks aren't structured. We have literally nothing outside the transition. And the team is just devoid of confidence and devoid of ideas. And they are a reflection of the man who's managing them. So I don't expect the Spurs team to cause Man United any serious damage, which is a shame because we have the tools to cause Man United some serious damage, as we saw in the reverse fixture. We know what we are. We know what we are like in transition, but I don't think Man United are going to let us counter. Are going to let us play our preferred style of play against them. And I think both teams are going to cancel each other out. And I genuinely believe it's going to be a score draw. I think it will end 1-1. And I think it will be another disappointing result for Spurs because, like you said, we have to win it and we're not going to win it.
Yeah, no, everyone I've spoken to said basically the same thing regarding this game, which is kind of an indictment of both managers to an extent in terms of, the football to play. Before we go into Ali, I just want to ask all of you guys, like for me personally, it's funny looking back because I remember right at the start, and Kish will laugh now. I warned Kish from the day one when he got Jose Mourinho. I warned him, this guy's a virus, this guy's toxic, and then Spurs got off to a flyer, this season as well. But even in his first season when he was scoring goals for fun, so to speak. Like
the one thing I will say though, no, hold on, listen.
Wait, yes, let me just get the question now.
No, go on.
Obviously, what I was going to ask is, if he doesn't get top 4 and he wins the League Cup, is this the end of the road for Jose at Spurs, or do you think he deserves more time?
Get rid of him. Get rid of him. Yeah. Get rid of him. I can't believe he's still in the job. Get rid of this guy. He's clearly not the guy to take us where we want to go. Sack him. Save.
No manager is the right manager to take us where we need to go because of the board. It's a combination of errors. It's not just the manager.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not saying it's just the manager, but he as a manager is failing at his job.
Yeah,
it's not just sack Jose Mourinho and it's all.
Well, we're a laughing stock. We're signing players on loan who are using us as a training session. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're hitting Pure Gym, every weekend. Literally players that are using us for that purpose. We are a laughing stock at the moment.
Oh, is that Gareth Bale? You're legend.
I don't know, man. I think your board's quite fair.
Where no one can even go.
The thing is, the ownership with the ENIC ownership has not, like, Spurs fans will paint it out to be horrendous tenure, but it's not. Because for a good part of ENIC's time owning Spurs, they've taken us forward. They've taken
trophy in 20 years is success for you.
I'm not talking about success. I'm talking about progress. They've taken us forward. I didn't.
They have taken you forward.
So exactly.
Really
No Spurs fan can deny that ENIC have taken us forward. Not one Spurs fan. And it's not even like Spurs were this mega trophy winning team before ENIC came anyway. But that's not me excusing them for their shortcomings. I think the problem you have with ENIC is that they're so risk averse, and in periods where we've been on the brink of glory, that risk averse nature has cost us. And in the last 5-6 years, they have made more bad decisions than good. Stadium aside, they've made more bad decisions than good. Our last proper window was the season when we finished third, Pochettino's second season, when we signed Son, Alderweireld, all of these players. That was a proper window, with the exception of NG. And even then, we needed reinforcements in January. We didn't get it. So for me, ENIC, they're in a period now where they literally have to put up or shut up. Like, enough is enough now. Like Kesh said, one trophy in 20 years is not enough. It's not enough, and it's not going to be able to keep the likes of Harry Kane. So ENIC need to right their wrongs and need to actually start investing properly on the footballing matters, not just the business matters. And the first, it's annoying with Spurs. We're going to have so many issues. ENIC is an issue with their risk-averse nature. The manager is an issue in terms of how he coaches us. We have some players in our team who are just shit, are not good enough. They're not as good as what we thought they were. We have a whole bunch of issues. Our recruitment isn't the best. Our ability to sell players isn't that good as well. So we have a bunch of issues. And unfortunately, we need the guys right at the top, ENIC, Daniel Levy, whoever you want, to help us sort this mess out. And one of those messes is sacking this manager. Get rid of him. Get rid of him.
Jerry, I just want to get your thoughts.
To sack this guy, they should have sacked this guy the minute the full-time whistle blew against Zagreb. Why is he still in the job? Get rid of him.
I want to get Jerry's thoughts in, because me and Jerry have this exact same conversation about Ali and Al.
You don't discuss it. I'm coming back. Just checking my food.
Right, okay, so Jerry, in terms of what he said there, it's quite clear he wants Jose out. You know, he didn't really mince his words. Do you think Jose is to blame? Because he has inherited a pretty poor Spurs team. You know, it's quite evident that the defense needs reconstruction. You know, Pochettino had the last proper years of Alderweireld and Vertonghen, who were a fantastic defense for them. It's quite evident that some of the other players defensively aren't good enough as well. Where do you sit with the whole situation with Jose? Like, do you feel like he's to blame, or do you think it's like the players need to take responsibility?
Like I always say, it's both. It has to be both. Like Jose, yeah, he has his faults, but watching Spurs, the amount of errors, the defense, like Sanchez, Rodon, Alderweireld's, he's kind of past it. What's the right back's name?
Orion.
No.
What's his name?
Doherty. Doherty, like, come on. He's trash. He's rubbish. Like, the team, when you look at that defense, it's just is a laughing stock. Lloris is making mistakes. I mean, like, yeah, I get Jose. He's football. It doesn't help, but some of these players, man, I'll keep saying it. Like, they're just letting, like, the last game against Newcastle. I understand Newcastle came into it the second half, but that equalizing goal, like, what the hell was that? What was that? Like, yeah, man, these
we got battered by Newcastle United. That's we got battered. Like, it wasn't even fair that we got a point. That's how bad it is.
Bruce does play good football, though. Come on, kid.
Oh yeah. Obviously, man like Steve Bruce is on it, isn't it? With that and Garlic.
Would you take Steve? Would you take Big Sal? Someone asked you, would you take Big
At
Sal?
this rate, we might as well, to be honest.
Let's move on to Manchester United. Obviously, RPS, what are your thoughts in terms of Man United perspective going into the game? We spoke earlier about kind of just needing a draw really to an extent. It does look like Chelsea are absolutely slapping Palace though, so there might be a worry. How would you approach it if you're Ole Gunnar Solskjaer going into this one?
You know what? Because we got 1 foot into the semi-finals, and a few players that are going to be playing on Sunday are going to get a day off on Thursday. I feel like Ole might go for this one, but in hindsight, with that last result, I think that's going to play in the back of his mind, and he's probably not going to put a team out that's going to try and boss the game and try and dictate from early. I feel like it's just going to be a team that's just that's going to sit back and try and hit on the break. But obviously, with today's results, with City losing,
Is 21 and 21 back?
do you know what? It's not, but you never know. Like, if you keep winning and you keep getting the 3 points, you never know, bruv. You never know, innit? Obviously, it's not going to happen, innit? But, like, obviously, if Ole has any ambition... you know? Nah, you know what I'm saying? If Ole has any kind of ambition in it, he's gonna want to win tomorrow. But in these top 6 games that we go to, I know we went and beat City 2 weeks ago, but these kind of games, man, I don't know, man. Our approach is it's just not there. We have a lack of any kind of cutting edge in the final third. We don't take any control in the midfield. Fullbacks are very safe. Our centre backs, they do this false movement of bringing the team up to the middle of the centre circle,
so basically
and then they'll just play it to the sideways.
But is that what you're saying? Ali hasn't got
the
team. Is that what you're saying? Just say it all, it's alright. You can go get these. No, this is what I mean. Mans don't want to criticize our manager, but they just set the team up. No. Just go enjoy yourself.
Well, obviously, we ain't lost the game away this season, innit? So, like, who am I to like go against him, innit? For like not setting up a team to go and win. But if he's not losing any of the games in the top 6, and well, he's lost a couple, but if he's not losing any of the away games, it's always a bonus, isn't it? So to pick up an away point. So we'll see tomorrow, innit? Like.
Yeah, obviously fair enough, innit? The way record's going in there. We don't get a trophy for that, but you know, it is what it is. May not keep banging on about it. But listen, let's get your guys' thoughts from a Spurs perspective on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I'll be interested to see what you guys say. In terms of the manager, where do you guys sit? Kish, we'll come with you first and foremost. You already know my thoughts, so I don't need to obviously reiterate them. But obviously, for those of you that are watching, I'm not a huge fan, but just put it out. You know, Kish, you know, does Ole get too much criticism from Man United fans?
I personally think so. I think there was a lot of mess, a lot of deadwood at the United set up, you know, once Mourinho left. And I feel like Ole's trajectory in the last couple of years, it's not been, you know, ridiculously impressive, but it's been good. If you were to give him a scorecard, you'd give him a 7 out of 10 because he's got rid of a lot of the deadwood. There's been slow progression. For me personally, he's improved a lot of the players at the setup. I think Martial has improved, Rashford has improved massively. Yeah, he's brought Greenwood into the setup, and there's a couple of other players that I think he has improved. I think the criticism I know that all Man United fans give is the fact that you don't play, you know, the silky, smooth football that United fans, adore watching from previous times. But you've not been playing that sort of football since Fergie left. Under Van Gaal, you haven't been playing that sort of football. Under Mourinho, you definitely didn't play that sort of football. So really, out of the 2 previous managers, he's out-trumped them, in my opinion. And that's with limited experience compared to those two. Those two, you know, experience is ridiculous. So I do feel like he's steadied the ship. And I feel like he's given the next manager who I still think you need someone who can put you to that next level. He's left a good solid foundation and base for me personally, to take you to that next level. But then listen, you're second in the league. You were third in the league last season. I think the season before you came 4th or 5th. This season you're most likely in the semis of the Europa. If you win the Europa, that's a Europa League Cup, Europa League trophy, and second in the league. That does not sound too bad to me personally. I know it's Manchester United, and I know for Man United you need to be challenged.
That's a good season, man. Look,
yeah, for me, for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that's fantastic. That is a fantastic season. And bearing in mind, he wanted Sancho all season, all summer transfer window. You could tell he wanted him. He was giving Cavani out of the case of we need someone in, we need a body. Even though Cavani's a good player, he was given someone at the last minute. I think Cavani came in on deadline day because he needed someone. So bearing in mind that he's not always had what he's wanted in the transfer windows, and he's had the players that he was given previous, I personally think he's done a good job. Not an amazing job, not a poor job, but I think in general he's done a good job for United.
Yeah, no, look, he's done a good job. Obviously, we've had this conversation about a million times. So I'm not going to go around in circles because I know what the guys are gonna say anyways. But yeah, look, I just wanted to get your thoughts on the matter. Of course, look, tomorrow if he wins the game and then he brings it home 21-21, then I've got a lot of apologizing to do coming end the season. But listen, I'm all for it. But listen, we're gonna get everyone's lineups. We'll start with you actually first and foremost, Jerry. If you are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, how are you lining up for tomorrow's game? Bear in mind everything that the lads have said.
Obviously, goalkeeper, I think he reverts back to Henderson. It's obvious. De Gea playing the cup game. It looks like he's the cup keeper for now. Henderson comes back in net. Back four, standard, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, and Shaw.
Wan-Bissaka had a great game the other day, by the way. You didn't even mention it on chat.
Great game.
It was quality against Granada.
You're trolling. I'm even watching the Chelsea game. That Reece James assist. Wan-Bissaka can never cross like that. Anyway, midfield. Obviously, I think I've said it. Scott is suspended for Thursday, so I'm guessing he's going to play. I don't think he'll risk Fred. I think Fred will play obviously on Thursday. So midfield will be Scott, Pogba, and Bruno. Front three, Rashford. I don't know, man.
What's your thoughts on the Rashford situation? Because he's clearly injured.
I get it, but I think there's an overreaction. Like every time that Thursday when the news came that he was starting, I just looked at Twitter. It was like someone died. I was thinking,
people need to stop crying, man.
People are crying. I was thinking, you don't need to relax.
Man. It's not that deep.
To be fair, though, that was pouring it because Ollie said, was it the day before that? Oh yeah, I know he needs a rest. Like it will happen.
Yeah.
And he starts him. Literally, he keeps doing that.
Yeah, that's true. But against Granada, it might get away with it tomorrow. But we haven't got no one else to play. That's the problem.
Yeah, as I keep saying, Usmaan, Rashford involved FC. Look at the game. He scored the goal. Without Rashford and Bruno, Ollie is done out here. So for me,
whoa.
Yes.
So what
do you mean, whoa?
Without Rashford and Bruno, Ali wouldn't.
Yeah, see, the things I missed.
Oh, he's motivating it.
Yeah, I've said that.
But that's like any manager, Usmaan.
Exactly.
That's a great example, bro. Van Dijk's out.
Exactly. We need players. Yeah, Rashford and Bruno, the players. We need them. I've been saying this bare times, fam. People cuss Rashford, but then cries when he's playing. Like, I see people cuss Rashford all the time, but like, Rashford.
Yeah, because people cuss Rashford because he doesn't pass the ball. Like, I don't cuss him because of other things. Like,
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about
I'm just saying in general. That's why people cuss Rashford because he'll be 2v1 and he'll try to take the man on and he won't pass. Like,
but he's improved. Has he not improved? Man got 20 goals back to back. Like that's improvement for me. That's
fair play to him. You can't knock it.
So yeah, I'm starting him on Sunday, and I'll probably rest him on Thursday because he doesn't need to play that game. So Rashford on the left, Cavani up top, and Greenwood on the right. James. Yeah, I don't ever want to see James and Wan-Bissaka on that right side. That is championship level. That is.
Chill out. Wan-Bissaka is a good player, man. Have you heard this kid?
He's dead.
Wan-Bissaka defensively is probably one of the best fullbacks in the Prem. Defensively, I'd say.
I'm talking about going forward. He is zero.
Yeah, going forward, he's kind of clueless, but defensively, he gives you a lot.
Trent or Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah, I cost Trent. Trent defensively is zero as well. He's crap. It's the same thing.
It is very easy. Biz, what do you reckon? Are you agreeing with Jerry's lineup? You're going for something different?
I think Fred we'll see McFred come back into play. That's is Fred's fit, yeah? Fred's fit to play.
Yeah, Fred's fit, but Tomley's suspended for Thursday.
Yeah.
As is Luke Shaw and Maguire.
Yeah. So obviously, yeah. So I think he's going to bring back Dean Henderson. Back four speaks for itself. Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw. He's going to bring back McFred. And I feel like he's going to try this diamondy type. Not 4-3-3. It's kind of a diamond, bro. With the Fred, McTominay, Pogba, Bruno, and then obviously Cavani and Rashford. Bro. But it can turn into a 4-3-3 if you put you can move Bruno out to the wide and.
Yeah.
You don't think Rashford? I think Rashford definitely going to play. I think he's definitely going to play, but I don't think he's going to play for full 90 minutes.
No, I don't think he's going to play. I think he might play Pogba left wing. You might play Pogba. You might play Go McFred in midfield. Pogba left, Cavani up top, Greenwood on the right. I think Rafa will be a bench.
Yeah, that's a shot.
I think that's what he'll do. Oh, he's obviously got Matter as well available. I don't think he'll use it. But Kish, what do you reckon from a Spurs perspective?
Agree with the
Obviously,
right. Do you know what that? I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that because
Yeah, you're delayed.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my God, you're our biz, bro. Man. You're heavy today, yo. Bro, that was about a good 10, 15 seconds. Shit. Kish, what do you reckon from your perspective?
Yeah, so for us, I think we'll have obviously Lloris at the back in the net.
Yo.
Was
that question to me?
Oh, wait, there you go. He's back.
Oh,
You're proper delayed, like 10, 15
Yo.
seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah. What? Sorry. What was that question? What was that question?
Oh, don't worry, we moved on. Kish, bro, Kish, put your line up. What's your line up? What are you going for?
My guy. At this rate, my guy's going to be so behind, he's going to miss the game. I don't even know what's going off.
We got one guy delayed, one guy's gone for his cookie. Let's just get to the screen until it comes back.
So, so pretty much, So we'll have Lloris in the net, Ori at right back, centre half. Although all of our centre halves have been terrible, out of a poor bunch, I think Rodon's been the one who's actually showed glimpses of something, even though he's from the Championship and has got no Prem experience. So Rodon will start alongside Alderweireld, in my opinion. If he even dares to start Sanchez, if I see Sanchez in that starting lineup, I am not watching the game. I don't give a fuck.
But you don't need to start, though.
So
you know he's going to start.
Come on, man. Nah, don't be like that. Come on.
It's not. I'm just stating a fact. He started. 1 sec. I'll give it to you now, just so it's not me saying things. He started like our last 6 or 7 league games. So
yeah. All right. I'll give you the lineup. I hope he plays rather than the one that he's gonna play. So Lloris in the net, Aurier right back, centre half, Alderweireld and Rodon, left back.
Reguilon score against that defense.
Yeah, Reguilon on the left side, and then a diamond 3 in the midfield. So I'd have Ndombele, Højbjerg, and Lo Celso, I think. Lo Celso. And then as a front 3, Kane, Son, and we played Bergwijn in the first one, but this one I'd have Lucas Moura because, to be honest, Lucas Moura's probably been our best player. No, Bale's finished. I told you he ain't starting a game after them comments. Like he isn't. It's not going to happen. There's no way Mourinho's going to let him start.
I must have missed him. I don't actually know what he said.
When he basically said that Tottenham's just a training, he's not gonna start after that, and he was lucky to get a minute in the last game. So yeah, my front 3 is going to be Son, Kane, and Lucas.
But that's a solid front 3. Not gonna lie. Toby, what do you reckon? Do you agree with what he's going for? Are you going for something different?
My ideal front 3. I wouldn't. Lucas Moura should be start. He should play because in recent weeks, he's been one of our informed players. But that being said, he was fucking terrible against Newcastle. He reverted back to type, running like a headless chicken, doing nothing. But the back line, I would prefer. I think Aurier, because I want more attack. I want some more attacking impetus from that right. I like Tanganga, but I want some attacking impetus. So I would play Aurier, Rodon, Alderweireld, and then Reguilon, and then midfield. I agree with Kesh. I think a 4-3-3 works, but Lo Celso, he's been playing so badly since he's come back from injury, so badly. So me personally, I would actually play Lucas Moura in the 10. I don't like him there. I think he's horrible there. Well, I think on a normal occasion, I think he's horrible there. But in recent weeks, he's played some good stuff there. So
he offers quite a bit of energy there as well.
Yeah, and he presses. So I would put him through the middle and give the likes of Fred and Pogba something to worry about when they're on the ball, because they know that he's going to be snapping at their heels. So I would actually play him 10, and then of course play Ndombele and Højbjerg. And I already know full well that the midfield battle was surrendering a bit of control, but I'm happy with that. On I'm happy with that on the condition that we are actually going to go for the game. So I would start him and I would play Gareth Bale on the right hand side. I would start Bale. I know that he made those stupid comments, and that's probably closed off that any potential option of him coming back next season. And to be honest, it's probably for the best. Let's not kid ourselves. He was non-existent for like 60% of the season. Came back to life for a good 2-3 weeks, and then made those comments. So I would still start him. I think you want your best players playing on the pitch, and it's a must-win game, and you want as many match winners on the pitch. So I would start Gareth Bale. And then of course Kane up top and Son on the left. I would go with a 4-2-3-1. I like Lo Celso, but he's played so poorly recently as well. So I see no reason why he should start this game.
Yeah, no, listen to your lineup with Bale, Kane, Son, and Mora behind you. That's a bad way from ball, to be fair. Like,
is it really?
Come on, man. You
Nah, man. Bale's done
Yeah,
it.
that's sick. That's sick.
Nah, man. Lucas Moura.
Yeah, Lucas Moura is a bonehead. He's a bonehead. He's a poor player, but
He's a grafter, though. That's the one thing you can't neglect. He's a grafter. That guy will run through a brick wall if he has to. Do you know what I mean?
Of course, but that's why he's an idiot at times, because he literally feels like he can run his way through everything.
He never looks up ever. Like, he's just literally on the ball. Never ever seen the guy look up.
But I'm all for industry, but when there's industry with no quality,
listen, lads.
It's rendered null and void.
You can have Dan James. I'll take more.
I think
so. But more,
I think it's a shame how.
Go on. Sorry.
I think it's a shame with Lo Celso, because like when you were top of the league earlier in the season, Lo Celso was actually one of your pivotal players in that midfield three, he was one of your only ball carrying midfielders.
I don't think
he was.
I don't think he was. Lo
Celso, I thought he was all right.
He's played his best performances, in my opinion, have come in the Europa League, maybe 2 matches in the Europa League, and there was a game our second game of the season, he came on as a substitute against Southampton, and he added a lot of energy into that midfield for us, and it was his pass that led to Kane setting up Son for, I think it was our 3rd goal. But Lo Celso has not been good this season. He's either been.
I think as fans, we had a lot of hope for Lo Celso after the end of last season. He ended last season pretty well, in my opinion. He started hitting form, and I thought this season that he will now be the Eriksen replacement that we wanted.
That's what I was thinking, honestly.
But again, it's just not happened for him. You know, it might be injuries, combination of injuries and a lack of game time, but so far from what I've seen, I've only seen little bits.
Why does he not play Bale in number 10 or second? Like almost like what Griezmann does for France, basically.
Because he doesn't track back. He doesn't track back.
Bale don't want to play 10. Bale don't want to play 10, and Bale's not going to press like Lucas Moura. Lucas Moura, when you play him in,
but it's almost like he's almost like a false striker in a sense, because Kane drops deep and then Bale runs past him. So,
but the thing is, Gareth Bale always wants the ball to feet. Like, he's not. Mourinho's even come out and said it. He's spoken to Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale doesn't want to play in 10. Gareth Bale specifically wants to play on the right hand side, get the ball to him in good positions on the right, and he'll make shit happen. And to be honest, I'm comfortable with that, but I would like to see him do some more defensive work on that right hand side, but that's not really going to happen.
That's never going to happen.
Lucas Moura is not a good player, but he is an agent of chaos. The problem is, at times for us, it's been an agent of chaos to our detriment, because he's literally doing everything wrong. But when it works and it comes off, he's an agent of chaos in a good way, because he literally ruffles the opposition's feathers, gets in your face, always hungry for the ball, and it helps with turnovers. And he's a great ball carrier as well. He can carry the ball, which is a really good asset to have in transition. So,
what about that prick Lamella, fam? Because that guy,
he's an idiot, man.
He's a nuisance.
I don't like him.
I don't like.
I'm not gonna lie though, yeah. Listen, again, you all might disagree with this, but Lamella's always had potential, but he's never flourished. Like there's always been a player, in my opinion, there's always been a player in him, but it's just never happened. It's never happened.
That ship sailed years ago.
How long has he been there? 8 years. 8
years.
Yeah.
He's been here 8 years.
Yeah,
he's rubbish. He's shit.
The season we sold Bale, we signed Lamella. Bale came back, and he's still there.
He come with that Soldado and them, man, innit?
Yeah.
Ericsson and that.
Come back and this guy scored 1 Rabona. That's about it. Yo,
Yeah. Nah, chill out, man. 2 Rabonas, isn't it?
Sorry, my bad.
Innit? Give him some credit. Come on.
Yeah, the other one was bad.
Listen, if he could turn it back and give us a performance like he did at Old Trafford, boy, then fine, fair enough. But I don't want him starting. I don't want him starting. What's that?
The Old Trafford game didn't happen, man. Don't worry about it, man. That, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Listen, everyone has an anomaly in the season, and that was ours. But we're going to finish with everyone's score prediction. We kind of got a general consensus on what everyone's going to say anyways. But just for the sake of it, just to quickly give you my front three, because that's the only thing that's different, really. I've got Dan James on the left, because we're going to play counter-attack. I've got Cavani up top and then Greenwood on the right, which, to be honest, doesn't really make much sense. But I just don't want Rashford on the pitch. He really needs a rest. Pogba midfield with, I don't know, McTominay, Bruno, because obviously the suspending the defense is defense in it. Standard thing, Henderson in net. But anyways, for me personally, score prediction, I'm going to stick to, I was going to say 1-1, but no, I'm going to say 1-0 Man United, actually. We'll just nick a goal. It's going to be one of the shittest games of the weekend. Obviously, Arsenal, I don't know who Arsenal played. That might be pretty dead as well. But Arsenal, Sheffield, that's a relegation scrap as well. So make sure you tune in for that one. Kish, what do you reckon? What's his goal prediction, bro?
Yeah, it's gonna be a boring 1-1.
1-1. Jerry?
1-0 United.
1-0. Oh, Biz, what you say?
You know what? It's more than likely going to be a boring 1-1 game. But you see, with Tottenham's meaty defense, bro, with Sanchez and Aurier and that, you know, I can see us getting behind and nicking a 2-0 win.
You look too happy, man. Man United in these games, I don't see any sort of happiness. Toby, what are you saying? What's your score prediction, bro?
1-1, bro. 1-1.
Say no more. Listen, it seems quite unanimous that we're all, consistently saying it's going to be a shit game. So probably like 4-4 or something like that. But listen, just to say a massive thank you, as always, to our panel for joining me. Before we go, Kish, start with yourself, bro. Where can the people find you?
Yeah, just find me weekly on Usmaan Talks United. Please like, subscribe, and follow. And for more Spurs tweets, just follow me at Keishandu below on Twitter and Insta.
Yes. Jerry, where can the people find you, bro?
Yeah, that's Jerry UTD _ on the Twitter, on YouTube, United Team Talk, and obviously on Usmaan Talks United. Gonna keep winding them up about the players. But listen, that Chelsea, I'm gonna watch back the video you talk about it in the group.
You watch it back in there.
I watch it.
Make sure you clip it for me in it, so we've got it in there. Biz, where can the people find you, brother?
Yeah, just follow me at DJRBs on Twitter or Instagram.
My guy is so behind.
Me at Tunnel Trafford Tunnel, never a foul.
Yo, I'll tell you after the stream, man. It crack it up, man. And Toby, last but not least, brother, where can the people find you?
Yeah, tapping Tobes on all socials, on my YouTube channel, on Twitter, and on Instagram. Yeah, just follow, subscribe, like, all of that good stuff.
Yes, you love to see it. We'll be back tomorrow with a watch along. As always, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel. You can follow me on Usmaan Talks United. We might do a match reaction with Kish. I'll try and grab him tomorrow night, because obviously, the last time we did one together, it was good, Kish. You remember that last watch along we did together?
Yes.
Out.
Seems like a dream.
Your boy Usmaan, show some love, and we'll catch you tomorrow for the